Mr. Mohan, Mr. Prasad,
A little bit louder.
Mr. Santosh, Naveen, Rajalakshmi, Ram Prasad, Mohanta.
Yeah, we have the balance sheet and we have the balance sheet, man. Balance sheet, that's not balance sheet, go ahead. Okay, wait. We have pen. So next session is going to be the session we had the education about. Education session about. It's evaluation session, and to handle this, I would like to call the GE again. GE Toastmasters.
So as I said, this is the second session for the evaluation. There is a subjective evaluation. The evaluator will come and recommend his own evaluation. It's not going to reflect the complete evaluation of the audience. It's going to reflect each speech. Is going to reflect what is his finding, own finding, how to improve the speaker for the next speech. That's what he's going to do. And I will take 2 minutes further. The evaluation is so important for everybody's life. So adding to the Rajesh what he is talking about, how we have to prepare the evaluation for the contest level. More interestingly, the evaluation is record for our personal life. That's what I found after coming to Toastmaster. Even you want to give feedback to your wife, it is not easy job. Please understand. So you need to give the speech. You need to. Then I practiced many things in the evaluation session. During the evaluation session, I learned as an audience, as an evaluator. I learned many things from the evaluation. Then I am very comfortable now. I am giving very good feedback to my wife. She is also taking because I am motivating. My evaluation is only motivating. She is finding the key points how to improve the relationship. That is one personal point. Another professional point, how the evaluation is going to help. Suppose you are your manager, you have to ask, you have to tell something to your colleague or your team member, something you don't like this team member is very, very essential for your team. And you cannot tell it straight away. Then again it is needed, it motivating the people. That is why it is reflecting. Just for the audience, just I want to give this input, how it is reflect to me. I will go to the evaluation again. So the first speaker spoke about 3 failures, love failure. It's going to be 2 love failure. It's going to be a tough evaluation for our evaluator, Shyam Vittal. Straight away I will call Shyam Vittal on the stage to evaluate post-Hogan speech.
Okay, I'm going to evaluate Jose Rowan or Jose Rowan, and I would like to call Jose Rowan stage. A big round of applause to them. Because he has completed like what was needed. Okay, he has met a specific purpose. For example, like take the love failure easily. So that is a specific purpose. I thought, okay, I can say about Josua's speech, and the general purpose was very smooth, entertaining, and very exciting. Okay, coming to the evaluation, real evaluation part. Okay, I thought, okay, the tale of the mechanical department, I thought it was going to be very boring thing because he's going to say about the students and all the professors, but he took it in a very different angle. Thanks so much for that. And the girl sighting, what he did, we do it in office too, actually, not only in college. So it was very good actually. So he started with the humor, and that was very good. Asking questions like how marriage or what we start with the marriage jargon and also. So it is always good to start with the marriage jargon because it gives you humor. And again, the story of the mechanical department, I thought it would be done with the professors and all. Again, opening was good with it's a jargon called friend zone and pro. But I want to give one suggestion that going forward, just do not use jargon. It's my humble opinion. If you're friend zone, I don't understand what friend zone is. Till now, to be very serious. It's my opinion. Again, he incited the humor, like weird mode after rejection. So everyone could relate it to, because I see Vijay Rajan here, but he's married. And he also closed with the humor. But the best technique of closing it, but give more weightage to what you had earlier instead of just closing with the humor. And also the military jargon, just reduce it 3 o'clock, 10 o'clock. I think only 50% of the audience could relate to it. So my suggestions, just 2 suggestions. When the emotions come out, like a love failure, just say it loud till the end, because you were very feeble when you just enjoyed it. Just one suggestion, one of the suggestions. Second one is little bit of movement here and there to be avoided. That is one. I summarize, as Rajesh told, I summarize that we have done the awesome speech, and I would like George Rohner to give more awesome speeches forward. That's it.
Thank you, Shyam Mittal. The next speaker, next evaluator is Mr. Vijay Rajan. Yes, he is a very good storyteller. I know him because one time there was a heavy rain, flood, the flood time. He came with a very good story, and the story he wants to say everything and seriously, but it came out as a humorous speech. Actually, that is very wonderful. So now we will call Vijay Rajan on stage to evaluate the Charan.
My dear guests, once again, Charan actually as a speaker, I always enjoyed your speech, and whenever I hear your speech, more than being an evaluator, I get engrossed with your speech. I don't know what is the specific reason. I analyzed the reason for half an hour, but I couldn't understand the reason. So actually, one of the Toastmasters used to say, even if somebody breaks all the protocols of the speech, and if still that speech succeeds, then that speech is the best speech. So in the same way, actually, I personally feel that since I got engrossed with your speech, you have succeeded in today's speech. As far as this project is concerned, this project talks about the usage of words and sentence structure. You used simple and understandable short sentence structures. And as far as usage of words, you use metaphors, alliteration in many places. I wanted to note it in the later stage. I thought you will be coming up with still more better alliteration so that I can note it down. But before that, you completed the speech. Vadilla, Ajasmati. So you, as far as the usage of words are concerned, it's okay, everything is fine. And as far as the speech purpose, your speech purpose, you opened the speech, you started from Chennai, went to Bangalore, and I personally felt that before I was prepared to take up your message, you concluded your speech. You could have given a little bit of time, in my opinion actually. In my opinion, you could have given a little more time, especially the body of the speech. The opening was good. You had a fantastic joke, and we were able to visualize the way you travel in the bus. We were able to visualize, I was able to visualize the way you entered into Bangalore and everything. And but what I felt is you could have added a little more in the body. That is, your friends encountered some problems, and before that, and after that, you wanted to give a message. I personally felt that that body would have been a little more elaborated, so that I would have been prepared to take up that message. And my second suggestion is, you are looking, your area of eye contact is this area. It would be better if your eye has a contact in the front row as well. So it's okay you are having eye contact this above the head level, but it would be still more better if you can have an eye contact in the front level as well. So as I said, I am a great fan of your speech. I have heard already your speech, that Telugu speech. So I always engrossed towards your speech, irrespective of any evaluation part. So I'm looking forward for more and more speeches from you. All the best.
The next speech by Sunil Joseph. It's an awesome speech. He is very, very attractive speaker. He is very attractive speaker in the sense he will always bring some subject which is not known to the audience. That way I found you always. So to evaluate his story narrating, storytelling, we have a special evaluator, Philip. So definitely it is going to be a tough job for Philip. All the best for you.
Thank you, General Evaluator, fellow Toastmasters and guests. Today, Toastmaster Sunil actually did a brilliant job in terms of delivering the story. So let me get into the clear or specific aspects of what is the speech objective states. So speech object, there are three types of telling a story or three types of going about a story. One is reading a story, other is telling the story, and another way of doing it is acting the story. So this project requested, or the main objective for this is to tell a story. So on this, Sunil did a great job. He never acted the characters, saying that he's a poor man, he's suffering. He never did all those over acting on the stage. He just stood here, he was firm, he was looking at the audience. Through his voice, he created beautiful pictures of how the characters are. So using his voice as an advantage, he did a brilliant way of telling the story to the audience without even acting. So this is a small learning for me, because whenever I think of a story, I always think of acting the story. But here Sunil proved that you can always use your voice and enhance the characters and tell it to the audience so that audience can actually think about the story. The third thing which I liked about the story is this speech is the story itself. Because whenever you select the story, one of the objectives of this speech is selecting a proper story to the appropriate age group. So the way Sunil selected the story was something which I was impressed. Because this story had a clear character arc. Whereas, for example, if the character arc, I meant, so the characters had a dip, had a high, dip, and a high. So for example, the Rimbu character had a dip. He was a poor person, he was doing his hard work, and then he lost his thing. And then a high where he met the king and requested, "King, I want your help." The king started helping him. And a dip where he was in his confused state on how to come to a consensus of finding the person who did this. So that was a brilliant thing which I liked in your story. So if I had to tell a small suggestion or my recommendation for this, so initially each story has a character in the world. So for example, in the first character of Rimbu, you did a brilliant mapping of character in the world for both of them. So you had a Rimbu character, you told them he was poor, he was hardworking, he was struggling a lot to get his bread, to earn his daily bread. But when it came to the king, so you did a brilliant thing of character, but when you're talking about the world, if you had told the king is a person who had won a lot of wars, or a person who is straightforward, who is courageous, who is powerful, it would have made more sense, because the king was the hero of this whole story. So apart from that, it was a brilliant speech, and I really loved the way you delivered it. Thank you so much.
For evaluating the TT speeches, we have a special evaluator, our champion TT, Janani Surya.
Good afternoon. Today's TT session was conducted by Toastmaster Azhar. It was conducted in a slightly different format. It's similar to a game we all play in culturals called Lock and Tackle. This is a good idea, as not only was it different, it enabled him to provoke maximum creativity from the people, as they had to constantly switch. But one drawback is that when he tells you to switch, suddenly you'll be unsure of yourself, and that is what happened with a lot of the speakers today. I will tell one positive and one negative for each speaker. We'll begin with Vijay Rajan. Vijay Rajan, you did a very good switching when he asked you to. The one drawback is that you looked a little flustered, which is a common problem today. You looked a little flustered when he asked you to switch. Just next time, school your expressions a little bit. Mohan sir, you did a really good switching, and your expressions remained absolutely calm and neutral during the switching. You did it very naturally and effortlessly. The one drawback is that you looked constantly unsure at the end of it, a little bit unsure and lost at the end of it. So next time, just cool down with that a little bit. The third one was Prasad. You did one small problem. When Azhar was over here and asking you to switch, you kept looking at him and talking to him for large portions of it. While understandable, he was being a little confusing at that point. Next time, when you're a little unsure, just look at the audience. You'll find inspiration from them itself. Don't need to look at Azhar. The fourth speaker was Santosh. Santosh, you started out really well. You had a really great start. Absolutely, you plunged right into the topic. The one drawback is you couldn't keep up that momentum for the end of it. When the green card was shown, your momentum really went from a high to a dip, as the name said. Next time, look at the green card as an opportunity, and it'll instead of a threat, it'll be much better. The next is Naveed. Naveed, your switching was also very effortless. The thing is, you had this constant hand gestures during half of it. Next time, just face the audience with hands loose. It'll help. Raj Lakshmi, I don't even tell you much about yourself because you did absolutely brilliant. Your switches were extremely natural and you managed to have a counter for everything that he said. The one drawback is his topic was co-ed schools and it ended about halfway through the actual topic, but still great switching. Next, Ram Prasad, you spoke really well and you got a grasp of the topic almost immediately. Whatever you said was absolutely relevant. The thing is, as soon as you saw the green card, you kind of, your momentum kind of went on it. Same suggestion as Santosh. Next time, look at it as an opportunity. Then Surya, the same thing. Wait for the green card to come out. And last one, Mohanta. You did a great opening. You grasped the topic really well. Your switching was really natural. The thing is, are you a Toastmaster? You're a guest. I sense that you didn't grasp the format really easily. And next time, you don't reveal it in your expressions. You were slightly confused. Keep it absolutely straight. Thank you so much.
To have an evaluation on evaluation, Professor Thomas.
Good evening, the Toastmasters and guests. In the remaining 172 seconds, I would like to not elaborate, quickly go through the three values. Broadly, in terms of encouraging, motivating, it was done well by all three of them, so I wouldn't go into specifics. Given the shortage of time, I will go chronologically with the speech and not in any order. First was Shyam. He did a unique thing, calling Joe's or host on stage. I thought that was a unique thing that you did. That was your way of congratulating. I think again, kudos to today's guest speaker. Everybody was top of the line, conscious about the specific purpose of each speech. Often it doesn't happen. Today everybody was conscious. They put it in the and a doubt was expressed about the mechanical department. I didn't understand it either in the speech or in your evaluation. I'm lost on that. So the word is out on that. You talked about jargon not being a good idea, but again, my view, I thought free zone, friend zone was very apt, along with 2 or 3 other part of the vocabulary that he used. So I'm not so sure what it is meant by not using jargon. You said very correctly that the best way to end is to reinforce. But I'm not so sure you carried it through by actually to saying how the end was. You said movement could be reduced a bit. It's an opinion. I honor that. Then I also remembered that the objective talks about organizing. The objective talks about conviction and sincerity. Maybe an opinion on those 3 aspects would have, you started off well with the objective, would have been helpful, just a thought. Second evaluator, Vijay. Vijay really showed sincerity in how he likes the speaker. That's one way of, encouraging the speaker. That was done with great conviction, I thought. Then you went to the objective. Using the objective, you dissected and said sentences were simple, but you said that you're waiting for more alliterations and metaphors to come, and therefore could not give an example. Possibly giving an example, I thought king was used as a king-size metaphor all along. Just my observation. You said language, it was okay, everything is fine. I thought for the usage, you meant to give him more credit, but it came out as a very average kind of a comment in my view. Objectives, you said more body could have helped to absorb the message. And I'm not so sure what it meant, because I thought ending with a succinct little thing called "Welcome to Bangalore." It's a very, very powerful end, I thought. It was not in the classical sense ending up into a conclusion. It was a one-line, punchline conclusion, I thought. Dilip talking about the king. Absolutely, voice was the tool he was meant to use, and Sunil did it very, very well. In that, I felt there were conjugations. I thought the pause that he used was one of the most powerful set of pauses I've ever heard in this club. It suited the king. He used pause to show authority. He used pause to show mystery. He also went into low tones, which was another variation in voice that he did. I think the second red light has come. Nevertheless, on map characterization, absolutely, Rimbu was brought out very well. But the king's character, I thought, came through in a slow revelation than being introduced as a guest. So it was fine for me, matter of opinion. So happy that we've had 3 brilliant stories, honestly. All of them are stories, incidentally, and 3 empathetic and efficient, competent evaluations. Thank you.
Timer, can you please mention the name of the eligible evaluator?
Yeah, everyone.
Name only. All the evaluators are eligible.
Mr. Vijayarajan, yes. Shyam Vittal, Dilip Krishna, Janani Suri.
Okay. So only the 3 evaluators, not